Hello, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Meridian Maps reread. So this is the first book in the Meridian Maps series. It is sitting at about 78,000 words and it has been through several drafts before, but this reread is the next step in my revision plan as I sort of document the process from where the story is now to its eventual publication. I have had a long break from the first book in the series as I've zero drafted books 2, 3, 4, and a little bit of 5. Mainly my goal was to figure out exactly what sort of foreshadowing I needed to put into the first book and what changes I needed to make for the overall series structure, the arcs, etc. So now as I'm rereading, I'm trying to keep that in mind other than just, generally fixing the first book.
What it looks like while we're sprinting on the Twitch stream. Oh, Zelda, you're just the cutest little pupper ever. So anyways, I'm now on page 28 and everyone's saying hi to the vlog. Yay! Hooray! But first we need to get, what did I pull? It was 34 minutes, right? Okay. Main screen, edit scene. And this is the fun part because we can do the 34, 43, make it a palindrome. I hope you guys are ready. We're gonna get started. Man, these sprints are long. Okay, on your mark, get set, go! Okay, that is time. Let me know how you guys did. I got through page 34 and I think I was on 28 before, so 6 pages. 1600 for the stream, 246, 344. Heck yes, way to go.
So I've accidentally started color coding things. I didn't mean to do this. Like when I set out with my initial plans, it wasn't to have a color coded system, but it just kind of came naturally. Even on this first page. The main edits are in blue, then character introductions are in pink, and then stuff about the world is in green. Now some of it's changes, but others is just like circling and graphing so that I can do this. On my campfire blaze, I can make note of my characters. I can also do the same for the world. Ta-da! And this is helping me build out my story Bible. I don't like that term personally. It's helping me build out my story encyclopedia. But so far, the reread is going well. I'm not that far along because it takes a shocking amount of time to reread. I'm actually on page 37, but Annalisa is aboard the pirate vessel, so I'm excited. There's some twists and turns coming up that I'm pumped about, and there's Annalisa. Obviously the point of this first book is kind of a self-discovery of her finding herself, but we haven't even fully gotten to the Meridian Maps yet, and I'm excited. And then these are the notes with the pages where I need to go back and just like fix things. So like page 18, I put a note on castle needs reconfiguring, and that's part of the map drawing process that I'm gonna need to do before I start rewriting. But then also page 31, remove reference to flying ship parts because I'm getting rid of that part entirely. There will be some amount of, there's not gonna be flying ships in the way that there once were. There's some mythology and some crazy stuff that happens as we get farther into the Meridian Maps that's more fantasy in regards to where the Meridian Maps lead to. But yeah, we're playing around with myths with the flying ships rather than it being part of this world. The story can wait. It's 8 a.m. and I haven't had my coffee yet. A girl needs coffee. The most beautiful sight. Now, unfortunately, I injured myself. During this time, I tweaked my back somehow. I mostly spent the time just sort of laying down, recovering. That was a whole day, honestly, part of the next day. So the schedule I once had to spend all of March 8th to March 12th doing my rereads had to be reshuffled just a little bit. But I did make a video where this ended up being a net positive because I was able to sort of compound some lessons I was in the process of learning about setting deadlines. So it was a good thing to get hurt. I was able to spend a little bit of time at my standing desk where it didn't totally hurt for too long. Then it would become difficult to breathe, so I'd have to take a break. But I was able to get back on track on Friday. I got an ooh moment because this is the first time we're really referencing the maps in full, and we get this immediate idea of like Matthias and the captain being at odds over how helpful they think the maps are going to be. So we don't have the connection yet that these are the Meridian maps, the thing that Annalisa, one of the things Annalisa's always been fascinated by. So, my baby girl. Yeah. Anyways, I like to leave myself little notes where I have like LOL or a check plus is usually I really like this part, or it hits just right or whatever, because, you know, as you're going through, you're making a lot of changes and you're basically being like, this sucks. Make it better. So it's nice to have something where I can see where I'm like, yeah, that was good, that was nice. And I think there's an act of not just thinking it as you're reading, but actually making a point to mark that really helps. Just Zelda doing Zelda things and Buffy standing guard. You wanna go outside too, buddy? Good job. You can see that some of the plants are not making it through winter after our snowpocalypse, but you know, our magnolia's trying, so. I'm going to wish that this revision process continues to go smoothly. So I really looked out because it's the Worldwide Write-a-thon this weekend. So now that my back is feeling better enough so that I can sit in a chair for longer, I'm going to be able to catch up on the work that I missed. I'm on page 46 right now. And by the end of the weekend, I should be done. I should be done. I'm excited. But I came in late, so let's go ahead and let the puppies in. I've been spotted. You ready to come inside? Come on in, buddy. Good job. Oh my god, Zara has so many people here. One more page and then I'm on chapter 8. All right, there's a little bit left to do here, so let's freaking do it. Okay, I think I finished, but by the way, let's see, so almost everything that needs to be covered has been covered. And then, look at these doggos. Look at that. All right, by the power of coffee, which is now empty, I decided to number all of my pages. So The last one is 153. That's the end. We're now on Stephanie Whitson's channel. And we got, oh, focus. And well, Megan, Stephanie, and Tessa. So I had an epiphany of sorts. I think I figured out what could be a part of the start of the first sentence. I'm just gonna get rid of all of these. Let's do this. Okay. I don't know that this is exactly how I like it, but there's something about starting with for the first time in a generation that I think begs some questions while still placing you in a time period of sorts, which is really what I want. Also, I love the Montessori is highlighted. Anyways, is that what I'm supposed to be focusing on right now? No, I'm supposed to be rereading, but it's always something where when you're in the story, you get different tidbits that were bothering you earlier. So now there's no flying ships. Is it exactly what I want? Probably not, but this is much better. So, also I have Duke. Buffy just left. Zelda's down there. Let's move this forward and get to reading. I'm gonna try and do a little bit without coffee first, but then coffee will be needed. Today was spring forward. Rude in the best of times, but especially rude today with the worldwide readathon. Okay, let's do this thing. I'm realizing besides my need for coffee, I actually just need more room than what my little desk allows, because when I do anyways. I'm gonna take all this and go to the couch. Good job, Zelda baby. Yeah, you wanna make your little nest. Good job, baby girl. Good job. So one of the things I need to do that I haven't quite figured out is I have my worlds and multiple locations. Sayala, which is what I was just on, that potentially no longer exists. But there are a lot of regional beliefs, so I kind of have it segmented right now as like a north, south, east, west, and some stuff about like the Center Isles. So like in the Center Isles, Monsoria, their religion, or their belief system rather, as it's like less ritualistic, their belief system revolves around the sea goddess and her sister, the moon, which makes sense when you think about an island. Anyways, that was my logic behind it. Then we have the northern countries, which I have currently believing in like a sun god or goddess or whatever. So there's these little things that I've put in the book that are region-specific customs or beliefs, or languages are done regionally, even though there is a common tongue. So I'm just trying to I think what I need to do is also have like a section where I just have northeast, southwest, center kind of thing, and put the customs there, and then maybe drag and drop or something. I think what I might actually do is when it comes time to do the map making, I'll draw them out and then do like a different color around where the different belief systems sort of lie, and if there's any crossover. I actually think that makes sense. That's what I'll do. The doggos are being very good company right now. No. Page 63. We're also getting to the fun part where we're about to impersonate some people. The piracy is about to tick up for Annalisa, while she's also like, maybe I should leave the ship. It's a fun juxtaposition. We're also about to be introduced to some characters in Boerne. They're minor characters, but they frequently come up in the second, third, and then fourth book. There's a bigger section that revolves around them, and it's just really fun to write them. So I'm excited. I'm excited to read that part, which is always a good sign, right? Yes. We have more about the meridian maps now. I'm so excited. Annalisa forced herself to grin up at him. Her mind elsewhere. On map and myth. Map and myth, map and myth. I have no kiss but yes to mind games. It was one of the sections that I'd edited to be more traditional publishing kind of thing, and I just don't like it anymore, so I'm not changing it back to what I had before. I'm not keeping what I have now. I'm going to change it again, keeping the intent of the mind games, but changing the rest of it. Yeah.
You got a BB gun down there? Still doing the target? Oh, yeah.
I'm done. I did it. Hooray. Alright, all told, I don't think there was a single page that wasn't marked in here. Even towards the end where I was getting really into it, I would still have something at the top and then something like at the bottom. So every page was marked up. And, oh no, that was wrong. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. That's how many bigger notes I have to change. I'm gonna show you some examples of what I mean. Because some of it was big stuff that I did in a different color. I only did that twice. But like page 152, number of maps needs changing. This is something that we're about to go over, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Page 100, I wrote down a big series question in here. So we can flip to page 100. And I wrote it down on the side. That is a big series question. But then even some of the notes are like, again, page 1, I have to get rid of the references to the flying ship. So next time there was a reference to a flying ship, I made a comment about it. Page 32, need to talk about the lighting on the ship earlier. Sconces? Question mark. So I have a little bit of research I still need to do, but also just like make things clearer, more visual for the reader. Page 17, fix the convo between Matthias and Annalisa. So things like that. But I do want to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not the good and the bad and the dirty, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're gonna start with the ugly first, which is like bigger things that need to change. So I'm saying it's ugly, but more like in that kind of, oh, this is gonna be a tough one sort of way. I wrote down 5 bullet points. So for the first one, it's Annalisa's wants need to be more readily stated along the way. She appears wishy-washy because she's pulled multiple directions. Now this is on purpose. She's now free from Monsoria, and that's not something she ever expected for her life. She had a trajectory, and now that trajectory is no longer an option, but now what she actually wants is come into question, and trying to figure that out is confusing. Not only in part because there's a price on her head, not only in part because there's a captain who she doesn't know whether to trust, and also because there's potentially these meridian maps that she's been interested in all her life, and some people think they're a myth, and some people think they do lead to Meridia. So anyways, I just need to make it clearer earlier on that that's why there's confusion there, and then I think when we actually see it, it'll work just as well. But right now it just feels like she's all over the place. So I just need to ground that a little bit more. I do have a whole bit about who ordered a hit on someone that needs some clearing up. This is where first book, we're kind of starting the war. It's actually already starting, but it needs to be made more clear as it can be, because it's pirates. The whole thing's kind of confusing and like blackmail-y and hidden and, you know, all the fun stuff. But I do think it's more confusing, and not necessarily in this first book, but it will be later on. So this is something I'm taking from when I zero drafted and I'm gonna put in here. I put obviously the castle and the palace and the world just needs to be drawn out so that I can better describe them and not confuse people. A lot of these is just clearing up confusion. Captain's maps versus Meridian maps, confusing, along with the number of the Meridian maps. The captain's history is unclear. Another thing that's on purpose, but I need to know the answers on how and why something happened, and I think I changed my mind as the series progressed, so I need to pick. Does that make sense? So even if we don't know in this first book, like the reader doesn't know, I need to know, and I need to be able to hint at things. And right now, what I had imagined at first is at odds with what it eventually ends up being. These are big things where it'll take potentially more than just one conversation to fix them. Now let's go to the bad. Multiple characters have names that end in A. Like too many of these characters, and I didn't realize it until I had Gemma, Portia, and Annalisa in one scene together, and I was just like, holy shit, that's so many A's. I'm thinking of making it like a thing from people from Monsoria, because Annalisa's sisters, those were not her sisters. Annalisa's sisters also follow the same thing, as does Quinta the princess. So like, I think I can make it a regional thing and make it kind of cool, but right now it's just too much. I'm only a little attached to the names at this point because I did finally name everyone in a previous draft, but it's fine. We will change some things. Removal of the flying ships, but I already knew that. I only have a few references to it anyways, so it'll actually work out. I do have to change a battle scene, but I don't think I have to change it too much actually. Like the actual battle took place once they were on the ship. So as I said earlier, I'm also hoping to make the regional directions, belief systems, etc. more clear, so that when I throw around the words like, oh, it's an Eastern country, the reader can have an idea of what that means. I can't tell you that part because it's a spoiler. I do have two scenes that I had changed to be more traditional publishing friendly that I am changing again. I'm also trying to get rid of what could have been a love triangle. I think I was trying to give myself options when I first wrote this, along with being slightly more traditional publishing friendly if I was going to be allowed to do stuff, and just kind of move in a different direction, which I'm really excited about. I need to figure out a common currency and how it was established, even if this is not shared in the book. I need to know. I also need to allude to some locations earlier on so that they don't seem as much like plot devices. This is Annalisa's first time really exploring the world, though she knows a bit about it because she's never left Monsoria before. So it's not surprising we come across something that she's like, you know, not super heard about, but I'd like to allude to it a little bit sooner or place one-off comments here or there. And I need more research personally on the ships and how they work, a la the sconces, and like a couple other dumb things that I didn't really think about before. Finally, the good. I still really love the story. The banter between the characters is my favorite part. And I do think that while Annalisa grows in this one, it does a good job of setting up what I think her eventual trajectory is going to be over the course of the series. So I'm really happy about that. I also enjoyed the pacing. It felt like as soon as we got comfortable, it was like, bam, something else was happening. So it was good, I think. I'm always nervous to be like, the pacing was great, because I have to wait to give to beta readers again, and maybe they're like, no, the pacing was terrible. So it felt good to me as a reader, but who knows? Also, the hijinks. I loved them. I love pirates, but so good. Also, as a reader, I'm just excited for where the story's going. I read the last page and I was just like, it felt like a conclusion, but it also felt like it was setting up some really exciting stuff. So I'm pumped about that. I felt like I give it enough space to really be able to conclusively say that. So I'm excited. I'm excited. And while I had bigger bullet points on the ugly and the bad, like 85% of it is great now. It's just 15% that I'm trying to sort of fix at this point to make smoother and make better reads. So I'm getting close. I feel like this is, you know, the closest I've ever been in a story like this, so yay. But please do comment down below. Let me know what the last story that you wrote you have reread. Yes. Let me know what your rereading process looks like. Let me know if you kind of color code things. Let me know how many things you need to use. Because obviously I had my multicolored pins, my notebook that I wrote down the comments from the printout, and then I also had Campfire Blaze, where I'm trying to expand the world and make a whole list of the characters and like re-reference them back as the books go along. So anyways, it feels like a lot to do one task, but also at the same time, like sometimes not enough. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Maynard Hearns, Casey Benjamin, Jeremy Denton, Delaney, Martin Whitley, Greer, M. Marie, and Kaden Overstreet. And I'll see you all very soon in the video. Bye. And also as a reader, I'm just excited for where the story's going. Whoop. I do have